Up next, and every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, tune in to Grand Theft Auto Biographies with Guiness Walker. And don't forget Grand Theft Auto Geographies, Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Only on Weazel, confirming your prejudices.
Warning, this program is entirely fictional and made by a sole Canadian man. All characters and events in the show, including the host, even those that are based on real people, are entirely fictional. The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
America, the land of the free, home of the brave, and the stupid, and the criminally insane.
You want me to kill you now? No problem.
The United States has seen its fair share of gangbangers, mobsters, and psychotics who've roamed our beloved streets, causing untold chaos, destruction, and corruption. Tonight on Grand Theft Auto Biographies. Insecurity.
Stop yelling at me!
Dance moves.
Okay, Mr. Lance Vance, dance.
And cocaine.
It's my coke! It's all my coke!
Tonight we will examine the tragic story of a man whose demons defined him, and the many mistakes he would make in pursuit of genuine recognition from his brother and his criminal colleagues. We will see a man rise from the deepest depths of poverty to second in command of one of the largest drug distributors in Florida during the 1980s, only to lose it all on a bad gamble made from his own inadequacies. A man with a profoundly inflated sense of self-worth who would struggle to find his place in the criminal world he so desperately wished to be a part of. Lance Vance. This episode of Grand Theft Auto Biographies brought to you by my incredible supporters on Patreon. Sign up today to get all the music I use for my shows, early access, and a spot in the credits. Thank you for watching. Like his brother, and many other criminals we've examined on GTA biographies in the past, there isn't a great deal of information on Lance's early life prior to entering the drug trade with his brother in the mid-1980s. What we do know of Lance's youth comes from records obtained on the elder Vance brother, Victor, from his time serving in the military at Fort Baxter. Lance was born in 1954, the middle child of three brothers, to a white mother, Janet Vance, and a black father who immigrated from the Dominican Republic, but whose identity and fate remain unclear. Due to their mother's drug addiction, which plagued the Vance family throughout the brothers' lives, Lance grew up in poverty in an unknown city, and was raised predominantly by his mother's sister, Enid, along with older brother Victor and younger brother Pete. Unable to care for her children properly, the Vance brothers, most especially Lance, would view their Aunt Enid as their primary maternal figure, and continue living with her well into adulthood. Having the surname Vance, Lance was teased incessantly at school, and as a result often went by nicknames to those he introduced himself to, as well as becoming generally more abrasive and hostile to teasing of any sort. This insecurity carried over into many other aspects of Lance's life, often getting himself and his brother into trouble with his careless and impulsive behavior, such as getting kicked out of the Boy Scouts for undisclosed reasons, among other reckless incidents. At some point, the youngest Vance brother Pete would develop severe asthma, and Victor would leave home to join the military to help provide for Pete's medical expenses, knowing that he could not rely on Lance to help, being sick in another way. At some point in Lance's life, though it is entirely unclear when, he would take professional flying lessons and learn to pilot helicopters and possibly even planes. Due to information on Lance being highly ambiguous prior to the age of 30 and his arrival in Vice City, we cannot say with any certainty why, how, or when Lance would have found the time to take up this activity, but it is this reporter's speculation that Lance had already been trying to make moves of his own in the brothers' hometown, which remains unknown, and acquire the lessons as a means to facilitate making easily escapable deals, something that would save his life many years later. In 1984, while living in Vice City, Florida, Lance's brother Victor would be kicked out of the Army on false charges due to a scuffle with his superior officer, and Lance, sensing an opportunity, would take this time to fly down to meet his brother, who was less than thrilled to see him again so soon.
Hey, bro!
Lance!
Hey!
What are you doing here?
You don't sound so pleased.
I'm not so pleased.
Thanks, bro. Who was you expecting? What a greeting, man.
Not you. Someone useful.
So what am I? A handicap, huh? Your dumbass, low-life, no-good brother?
Something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one who got kicked out of the army.
No, you're the asshole who got kicked out of the Boy Scouts.
Oh, come on, man. I come all this way to see you and you treat me like I got herpes.
Maybe that's because your whole life you've gotten us into trouble.
Oh, give me a break, man. I've changed.
Okay, I'll give you a chance. One chance.
Oh, yeah. Hey, come here, man. You won't regret it, baby. I love you, man. And love can change the world. But Vic,
What?
I have got herpes.
Get off me, man. Just get in the damn car.
I'm just kidding.
Arriving unexpectedly at Escobar International, Lance would surprise Victor before the two were immediately forced into a chase halfway across the mainland by enemies of Victor, the Cholos, with the pair just barely managing to escape safely after Lance takes the wheel to drive the brothers to safety, with Lance trashing Victor's brand new car given to him by Phil Cassidy in the process.
You're never driving again.
I had it with you, man. You put me off. You always treat me like a kid.
Though Lance would insist he was in town only to help his brother and promised not to make things difficult for him, this would prove to either be a lie or an outright impossibility for the character of Lance Vance, who within days began exploiting Victor's entry into the criminal underworld of Vice City and attempted to set up a major drug deal for the pair. At this time, the Vance brothers would also be visited by their estranged mother Janet Vance and her new lover Javier, who came to Vice City seeking to leech off the brothers for drugs and money.
Hello, boys!
Mom!
Victor, put your brother down.
What are you doing here, Mom?
I'm cleaning up my act. I'm off the drugs for good.
Here we go again.
Can I get a drink, Lance, honey?
Who's that?
That's Javier. He's been very sweet to me.
Oh, give me a break.
I'm tired of your bullshit, Mom. You come here to ruin things for us again.
How can you say that? I raised you!
Aunt Enid raised us, not you.
I'm clean. Give me a chance, Victor. Please?
Nah, you can stay with Lance, Mom.
What?
But I don't want any trouble. I got enough horse shit dealing with him.
Vic, we gotta go meet that friend of yours at the airport.
What?
I'll explain on the way.
Oh, right. You two, stay out of trouble.
Lick me, senora.
While Vic continued to do the heavy lifting around town for the brothers, Lance would spend hours on the phone and in clubs attempting to find a contact who would satisfy his Scrooge McDuck-esque obsession until finally finding a prospective business associate in Brian Forbes.
What was that?
Nothing.
Didn't sound like nothing.
Vic, look at me. It was nothing.
And you look at me. What was that about?
You thank me.
Like I haven't heard that before. What have you done?
I found a way in. 2 kids, broken home, no education, no father.
What?
And rich as shit. It's the American dream, baby. People
Look,
with good
look,
medical treatment.
We are not kids.
We're young at heart. Listen, look, I met a big player. And we'll get big money for doing absolutely nothing.
This better not be drugs.
We won't be touching no drugs, man. Come on. You know, I'm your brother. You can trust me.
Forbes would set the brothers up with an opportunity which Lance insisted wouldn't actually make them real drug traffickers: steal a drug shipment from an unknown gang and distract the cops with a decoy. Lance and Forbes would take the van full of product to a secure location for holding, while Victor lured the authorities away using an identical decoy van. Victor would manage to successfully keep the police off of the pair, but upon reaching the lockup, Lance would express his suspicions of Forbes, before confronting him outside of Hyman Memorial Stadium.
You got everything sorted? No trouble?
Of course. Hey, I was just giving you shit, you know.
Yeah, whatever.
Great. Here's your brother. What's poppin', baby?
You,
Lance, what's going on?
you're a freaking cop. You think you can mess with Lance T. Vance, you
Hey,
bum?
chill.
Chill.
Yes. You're right. I am a cop. I was gonna tell you. I need money. I want to work with you guys. I ain't gonna bust you.
Not now you ain't. I'm gonna bust you.
Let's go!
I am going.
Having discovered the truth about Forbes, that he was an undercover VCPD detective, Lance would confront Forbes, who attempted to escape the Vance brothers in a car chase across downtown Vice City, before being caught and subsequently kidnapped by Lance and Victor. They would hold him at a warehouse in Little Havana while Lance attempted to extract information out of Forbes regarding other deals they could rip off. But lacking the ability to accurately judge character, Lance would twice more get the brothers nearly killed by continuing to trust Forbes' word. Forbes would first tell the brothers about a deal being done in Viceport in which the dealer did not believe in bodyguards, which proved a rude awakening for Lance, who upon arriving at the deal with Victor to intercept, was promptly kidnapped and taken for holding at the gang's freighter docked at the port. Vic would once again manage to save Lance, and the two would even escape with the gang's product, but Forbes would continue to try and escape his desperate situation.
I know there's a major shipment coming in real soon. I've been to your apartment and I've read your files.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you about that. The contact is at the White Stallion's bar. They'll give you exactly what you need.
You better not be screwing us.
Me? Give me a break. I'm your best buddy.
Lance would interrogate Forbes regarding a supposed big deal coming down that he'd learned about by tossing his apartment, and eventually Forbes would relent, sending the brothers to supposedly meet the contact at the White Stallion's bar, which turns out to be yet another trap. Surviving another ambush, Lance and Vic would rush back to the warehouse they were keeping Forbes at, and arrive just in time to spot the undercover cop fleeing the building. Victor would catch and gun him down, but Lance would remain single-mindedly determined to sniff out Forbes' real big deal, and make the brothers, but mostly himself, richer than their wildest dreams.
Just in time, bro. Yeah.
Lance, I'm through with this, man.
What you mean, this dump? Yeah, me too.
No, I'm through with this bullshit. I don't want to be a damn drug dealer. It's for assholes.
Vic, don't go soft on me now. I got what we finally needed. I know how we can get our hands on one big shipment completely free. We can finally get Pete the healthcare he needs.
Look, Lance, I am a long way from being a good guy, but drugs just mean trouble.
I agree, man. 100% agree. That's why we're gonna get this one big payday for all the hard work and split. Jerry Martinez. It's his coke.
Fuck it. You know what? Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is a real man. Let's pop.
Lance would discover that the big deal Forbes had been sitting on was a shipment apparently belonging to Jerry Martinez, Victor's former commanding officer during his time in the military at Fort Baxter, who had betrayed Victor and gotten him a dishonorable discharge. Lance would manage to convince Victor that getting back at Martinez and making a hefty payday in the process more than outweighed the risks involved in stealing the shipment, and the two would intercept the deal taking place at the western docks of Little Havana. After weaving through the traffic and dodging missile barrages from Martinez, who pursued the brothers in a hunter-attack helicopter, the two would safely store their newly acquired product at Lance's new penthouse in Ocean Beach. At this time, Lance would also find a prospective buyer for their product in film director Spitz, who after hiring Victor to serve as a stuntman, agrees to not only purchase some of their product, but also connect the Vance brothers with cokehead and eccentric personality, Remy Wasselmeyer, who begins working with Victor to help offload their product.
We don't have to worry about a thing. Once we sell the coke, we can pay off the feds and handle anything the Mendez brothers throw at us. Listen, I got a buyer. Let's go see him.
However, yet another roadblock would present itself at this time when the Vance brothers' ticket to riches is stolen by their drug addict mother and her new boyfriend, meaning despite Victor's wishes, the brothers would have to continue to operate as drug traffickers for the time being, instead of making one big sale and getting out clean.
Where is she?
Never mind, man. Just get the yayo.
Yes, in the spare room. Oh, shit!
What?
It's gone!
What?
And Mom's stuff is gone, too!
Oh, Mom! Lance!
Ain't that a bitch? I can't believe she took our coke!
Yeah. So what do we do now, moron?
Wait. Let me think. I know we can make it right. We'll just, we'll explain things to the Mendez brothers, you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure in between chopping us up and feeding us to their dogs, they'll be very understanding. Lance, if we get out of this, I'm gonna kill you! Asshole!
Aye.
Unfortunately for Lance, not long after purchasing his lavish new digs, 3 expensive and flashy suits, and a brand new Infernus sports car, he would learn through Vic that the cocaine they'd stolen in fact belonged not to Jerry Martinez, but the feared Mendez cartel, and that now the Mendez brothers were planning to kill Jerry, Victor, Lance, and anybody else they could find, who was even remotely responsible for stealing their shipment. Lance would go with Victor to help secure Vic's growing criminal empire, which Lance considered himself an equal partner in, and after successfully fending off the Mendez assault with his brother, he would even manage to broker a peace meeting with the Mendez brothers, who make the pair an offer they can't refuse.
Ah, siblings, just like me and Diego. How apt.
Listen, Mendez, we don't want no crap.
Oh, hey, mother.
Listen, Vance brothers, you want me to kill you now? No problem. Or we can work together. Your call.
The hell kind of choice is that?
All right, I guess we're gonna work together.
Good. Diego?
See ya.
So, Victor, Lance, who has been ripping us off? All of us, because now we are partners. A team, as it were. 4 brothers.
Yeah,
It was Martinez.
Really? Okay. Prove it. I mean, prove it now.
Lance would successfully convince the Mendezes of their innocence after Vic manages to acquire proof of Martinez turning state's evidence, and Lance forges fake identification using Brian Forbes' papers to fully sell the ruse that Martinez had not only been the one to betray the Mendez brothers, but also an undercover cop. Now working under Armando and Diego, Victor would continue to make moves, while Lance would slowly spiral downward into a binge of coke, partying, and upscale living. Believing their problems to be behind them now that they had peace with the Mendez brothers, Lance's downward spiral would begin accelerating as his newfound money amplified his tendency to make impulsive decisions. Lance would start to consume large amounts of cocaine taken directly from the brothers' own supply on a near daily basis, to the point of becoming functionally useless to help his brother's empire, despite continuing to cause problems for them both. Lance's addiction would get so bad that he consumed enough of their own product to raise suspicion with Victor, who began wondering where the missing coke was going. Lance would initially blame the loss on a theft by the Vice City bikers, and even drag Victor into a massive firefight in which Lance nearly dies, all to maintain the lie that he was not solely responsible.
Yeah, look, I gotta go. Later.
So, who was that?
Oh, bro, that's just the accountant. He's getting us a better rate at cleaning the money.
And you call the accountant baby?
Well, yeah, I'm a friendly guy. And baby is slang, you know. I don't love him. I ain't like that.
Yeah, hey, whatever you say.
Anyway, we got real things to worry about. Someone's been helping themselves to the stash. The Mendezes are freaking out, and I told them we'd take care of it.
It's the last thing I need on top of everything else.
What are you talking about? What's wrong?
Man, it's just Louise. I really thought we had something, but we just don't get to see each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, relationships can be tough. Believe me, I know. Uh-huh. Yep. Hey, come on, man. We got some fees to deal with. And you could take out your sexual frustrations on them. Hey, come on. Let's pop.
Yeah.
You know I love you, bro. Aye.
Eventually, Victor would learn the truth when walking in on Lance performing his signature Lance Vance dance, clearly high as a kite in autumn, and partying with Victor's prospective lover, Louise Williams. Victor even suspected Lance may have slept with her, either out of frustration for his brother's patronizing attitude, or sheer drug-fueled delirium. But either way, the two were certainly getting wasted together and fueling each other's addictive personalities, which only furthered the divide between the brothers.
Wow! So this is where the coke is going? Up your nose?
Hey, Vic!
Hey, Vic?
What are you doing here?
You had me running around town like a psycho, and all the while you're siphoning it off for your personal use. You are unbelievable.
Hey, I'm sorry. Look, can we talk about this later?
Oh, hey, Vic. Shit.
Louise, what the hell is going on?
Well, bro. Hey, bro, it ain't nothing like that.
I wouldn't do that to you. I just needed something to take my mind off things.
So you fucked my brother?
No! We just get high together. God damn, you are so judgmental, like you're a damn saint or something. Why are you being such an asshole?
You are a mess.
And you're wonderful. A wonderful drug-dealing, thieving murderer.
Come on, guys.
I was doing it for us.
Who you trying to kid? You don't give a shit about me.
Not now, I don't.
You know what? You make me want to puke, you self-righteous dick!
Get lost!
Stay away from me, you sick bastard! You're a phony, Vic Vance.
What are you gonna do?
Thanks a lot, Lance.
What? Listen, who cares? It's my coke. It's all my coke, and I'll do with it whatever I damn well please.
Around this time, Lance and Victor would receive an ultimatum from the Mendez brothers, having outlived their usefulness after Victor helped the pair to make up for their perceived attack on Mendez assets. Armando and Diego would tell Victor and Lance that they had two options: leave Vice City altogether and abandon their businesses to be controlled by the Mendezes, or die. And when the reaction is less than enthusiastic, the choice is instead made for them, and they are knocked unconscious and delivered to the airport fuel depot to be executed.
If you think getting screwed in the ass and then paying for it is fair, then it sounds like a great deal.
I find your attitude and your language terribly distasteful.
Puta madre.
Hey, hold on. Listen, hey, Mr. Mendez. Listen, we have done a lot of things for you. We kept up our end of the bargain. Now you want us to give up our interest?
You came to my town. You run around like a maniac. You bring the police and the DEA into my life. And now I want you gone. You're very lucky you're not dead.
Hey, listen, I made a ton of money for you. Money I didn't lose.
And now, you're done.
Oh.
You're obsolete.
You know
Look
what?
out, Vic, the mule! Duerme, damn! Ow!
Once again, Victor would manage to rescue Lance, and the two would escape their captivity. But now realizing they were at war with the Mendezes, he once again put into a precarious and life-threatening situation. In a rare smart move, Lance would get together a group of Victor's allies in Gun Nut Phil Cassidy and the Cubans of Little Havana under Umberto Rubina to help defend the Vance crime empire, and also put his own life on the line once again during one of his brief periods of sobriety as he helped Victor in their war against the Mendezes.
Hey, Lance, come here, man.
Yo, bro, what's up?
What the hell's going on?
We're about to get hit by those Mendez guys. Thought we could use some of your buddies to crash the party.
What?
Help out. What, did I do wrong again?
No, man. For once, you did very right. Let's go deal with these pricks.
Yeah, let's pop!
Perhaps initially seeking to make up for his many failures up to that point, Lance would also begin working with notorious Vice City drug lord Ricardo Diaz under the name Quentin Vance, to avoid ridicule and rope his brother Victor into working for him by proxy, with Lance still frequently too inebriated to be of any help. Still heavily handicapped by his addictions, however, Lance would also borrow a large amount of money from Diaz and promise that he and Victor would pay him back in interest, without Victor's approval.
Good stuff. Or I kill you and your brother with a blunt instrument. Vic, we were just talking about you. Yeah? About you boys repaying that money I lent you, huh?
What fucking money? Hey, what's he talking
Look,
about?
I borrowed some money for us from Ricardo, and we're gonna pay him back, okay?
What the fuck have you done now?
I invested back in the business. I'm sorry, Ricardo, baby, but sometimes brothers get out for mail on you, you know.
I know. That's why I killed mine. Boys, relax. Just go do that thing for me and all will be good.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What is he talking about?
Look, Ricardo wants us to destroy all of Armando Mendez's bearer bonds. And I know it sounds risky, but trust me, I got it going, because I've done this a million times. Let's just pop, baby. You know, let's just pop.
Guess I'm doing this one on my own.
Either ignorant or indifferent to his brother's true feelings, Lance would at this time once again undermine his relationship with Victor when the two learned of Vic's lover, Louise Williams, being kidnapped by their old rival Jerry Martinez, and Lance attempted to convince Victor to move on and find somebody else regardless of what happened to Louise.
Let's you and me just go make some money.
You're kidding, right?
Oh, man, get your priorities in order.
Victor would force Lance to help save her, and inadvertently end up in a divide and conquer play by Martinez when Louise turns out to not be in danger at all, and Lance is once again nearly killed. Vic and Louise would swoop in with a stolen medical helicopter to save Lance and deliver him to a boat off the coast where Martinez's men had stolen Vance merchandise. Not long after, however, Louise would be kidnapped for real, and the Mendez brothers would deliver one final warning to Victor and Lance by blowing up Lance's shiny new Infernus, which finally prompts Lance into action.
My car!
Lance would recklessly charge at the Mendez mansion, putting himself in immense danger, and despite making his way through the front doors, he would quickly be captured and held captive alongside the dying Louise Williams, forcing Victor to fight his way through the Mendez cartel and Armando Mendez himself to try and save his lover and his brother. Victor would arrive moments too late to save Louise, and a callous Lance would try again to convince Victor that she wasn't right for him, and that the only thing that mattered was family, namely, him.
Hey, Vic, I know you cared about her, man. But she wasn't right for you. Vic. Hey, Vic. Family's what matters. Oh, damn. All right. Okay, I won't make it. I can make it. I know I can, man.
Victor would proceed to go on a rampage, destroying all of their enemies, while Lance presumably waited at home until finally summoning the courage to try and help his brother, only to arrive conveniently too late to help. Vic, having killed Jerry Martinez and the Mendez brothers, would plead with Lance to get out of the drug trade for good, but Lance, being Lance, would instead tell Victor that he managed to acquire 20 more keys of cocaine from an unknown source, though likely from the Mendez mansion as part of their stash, though we cannot confirm this with any certainty. Lance argued that the smart move would be to sit on their stash for a time and then sell it all at once to make a huge payday, but Victor would be thoroughly unconvinced. Eventually, either Lance or Victor would purchase a small farm in Panama to safely store the coke, while presumably continuing to live out of Vice City and ramping down their empire's production for shutdown.
Right! Look, I'm gonna send some money to Pete!
Cool! But bro, I don't want you thinking it's just about you! That is all about you!
Hey, I don't! It's about you, me, Pete, Bob, wherever the hell she is!
But wait! I've been making moves! I got a hold of 20 keys,
Are
man.
you crazy? Get rid of it!
No! All we gotta do is sit on it! It's hidden out of sight! Out of town, man! We lay low and then sell it!
No! I am not interested! Got it?
Okay, man! Whatever you say!
That's right!
Come on! Let's pop!
A little less than 2 years later, however, in 1986, and presumably after much prodding from Lance, Victor would agree to try selling the cocaine in a deal he sets up with the Liberty City-based Forelli crime family's lawyer, Ken Rosenberg, at the docks in Viceport. Using his skills as a pilot, Lance would transport the brothers to the meeting and Victor would meet with the Forelli wise guys on foot, including their main representative down south, Tommy Vercetti. In a blaze of gunfire, Victor Vance would be tragically killed by hiding assassins who had been tipped off about the deal, and Lance would just barely manage to escape thanks to his quick skills in a helicopter, with the only other survivors being Vercetti and the Forelli lawyer. Lance would mourn his brother's loss and begin seeking revenge, while also continuing to seek opportunity wherever he went.
Come on, get out of here! Drive!
With his brother dead, Lance would begin snooping around Vice City's criminal underworld looking for clues, and stumble onto the same lead as one of the other survivors, also trying to find out who ambushed the deal, Tommy Vercetti. Lance would shadow Tommy, who had learned of a lead on a chef moonlighting as an assassin named Leo Teal, living in Ocean Beach, and catch up with Vercetti just as he was beating Teal to death and extinguishing their only lead. Lance would have Tommy's back and offer to show him the ropes of crime in Vice City, while continuing to watch him from a distance to see what he would do.
Oh, way to go, tough guy. Beat him to a pulp. That should make him real chatty.
You want some too?
Hey, chill. I want what you want, brother.
Oh, yeah? And what's that?
Your green and my dead brother's white lady. Unfortunately, you just silenced our lead.
Accidents happen. Get lost.
Hey, whoa. No need to go all long range on my ass. The way I see it, we two hombres in a strange town. We need to watch each other's back.
My back's just fine, brother.
You sure about that? Here, take this. Follow me.
Returning to work for Ricardo Diaz once again, still under the name Quentin Vance, Lance would slowly become suspicious of Diaz, as well as continue to run into Tommy Vercetti while he investigated the pint-sized drug baron. Lance and Vercetti would both attend a meeting serving as guards for Ricardo, while still being unsure of his guilt, and begin forming a loose friendship. Lance would begin working with Tommy regularly for Diaz, while continuing his sleuthing, and eventually conclude that Diaz was more than likely responsible for ambushing their deal and killing Victor, a conclusion that Tommy comes to as well, who attempted to convince Lance to hold off until the time was right to strike at Diaz.
I can take Diaz!
No, listen to me! I'll handle Diaz! He's beginning to trust me!
Lance's impulsivity would have other plans in mind, however, as eventually he would decide to confront Diaz himself alone, and ended up being kidnapped and brought to the Vice City dump to be tortured, forcing Tommy to save him, much like his brother Victor had done many times in the years prior.
He killed my brother! What do you expect me to do, mow his lawns?
We're gonna have to take out that prick Diaz before he takes us out. You okay to use a gun?
Sure, I guess. Nice to see you too.
Let's get out of here.
Frustrated with Lance's inability to wait, but convinced of his usefulness as an asset and possibly even a friend, Tommy would rescue Lance and deliver him safely to the hospital, telling him to prepare for the final assault on the Diaz mansion. Providing the two with the firepower they would need, Lance would meet Tommy on Starfish Island, and strap up for an all-out war on Diaz turf, with the two men ripping through Diaz's forces to reach the drug lord himself and finally put him down. Together with his new friend and partner, Lance Vance would finally take the revenge he'd been seeking, and kill Ricardo Diaz once and for all, leaving Tommy Vercetti the new king of Vice City, and Lance his right-hand man.
You stupid pricks! My beautiful house! Look what you've done to it!
This is for my brother!
I trusted you, Tommy. I would have had you made.
Say goodnight, Mr. Diaz.
Yo, Tommy, it's Lance.
Yeah?
Oh, nice to hear from you, Lance. Come on, man, be cool, be cool.
I'm in the middle of something. What do you want?
Nothing. Just to say, look, Tommy, we can do this thing, you and me, no problem. You know what I mean?
We're going to have to do it, because otherwise we're going to be dead, Lance. We're in too far now. But thanks for the call. Speak to you later.
Now arguably the second most powerful person in Vice City for the second time in 2 years, Lance would almost immediately begin questioning his position in the Vercetti crime family, while attempting to remain useful to Tommy in between his likely inebriated phone calls, begging to be taken seriously. After years of being patronized by Victor, Lance's insecurities and vulnerabilities would resurface following Diaz's death, and though Lance would continue to help Tommy grow his empire, he would constantly run afoul of Vercetti for his lack of initiative and constant complaining.
What's the problem?
Some bars refusing to pay. They reckon they're protected by a local gang of thugs. But don't worry, Tommy. I can handle it.
You call this handling it? You two, off your asses. Let's go.
Though Lance would do his best to maintain his composure and keep cool, his macho front would frequently vanish in a series of phone calls to Tommy pleading to be given a fairer slice, even with his constant slip-ups as a high-ranking member of the Vercetti crime family. Something which also likely infuriated Lance, who viewed his partnership with Tommy as a joint operation, despite Tommy making it clear on numerous occasions that he considered the business his, and his alone.
Tommy, we gotta talk about stuff.
What's the problem, Lance?
It's you, my friend. I feel you're not giving me a fair slice. And more than that, you've been embarrassing me in front of the boys. I can't have that.
Lance, it ain't like that. You've been making mistakes.
Tommy, I'm not your message boy. I'm not your running boy.
Lance, don't screw up and we won't have any problems. I screw up, you can lay into me anytime.
Tommy, I've done everything for you. You treat me like a fool. Don't do that.
Lance, I won't rip you off or stab you in the back, okay? Just take it easy. This is tough enough without you getting all emotional on me. Trust me. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
I hear you, Tommy, but I can't take this much more.
Lance, don't be like this. Now I'm warning you. Do you hear me? Just relax. Take a few days off, okay? I'll talk to you.
It seemed the larger Tommy's empire grew, the smaller Lance felt as a part of the larger machine, and the less he felt useful or needed to Tommy, who he viewed as a friend and perhaps even a pseudo-brother, still missing the connection he'd had with Victor, and emotionally attached to Tommy for helping him avenge Vic's memory. Eventually, Lance's insecurity would get the best of him, when he began speaking with members of the Forelli crime family behind Tommy's back, in an effort to get back at Tommy for his perceived disregard for him.
Tommy, it's me, Lance. Keep your mouth shut there, Tommy, because I ain't got no time to talk. I ain't interested in what you gotta say. Why should I be? You don't care about me, do you? You gotta look after me a bit better. Give me a spare slice, you know? Hey, Tommy, man, look, hey, I'm sorry. It's just that people patronize me all my life, treat me like a little kid. My brother would do that. Please, man, don't do that. I gotta go.
When Tommy learns that the Forelli crime family intends to come to Florida and tax his businesses, he uses one of his new assets, the Printworks, to forge $3 million, or according to some reports $20 million, in counterfeit bills to present to the Forellis as a tribute. But Lance would take this opportunity to tell the Forellis about the fake bills and betray Tommy.
But at least someone in your chicken shit organization knows how to do business. Isn't that right, Lance?
Sorry, Tommy, this is Vice City. This is business.
You sold us out.
No, I sold you out, Tommy. I sold you out. The real cash is upstairs in the safe.
Infuriated, Tommy would kill all the intruders in his mansion before turning his attention to Lance and chasing him to the roof for a final confrontation. With help from his Forelli backup, Lance would try to make a last stand like his brother had done against Mendez and Martinez 2 years prior, but in the end, Tommy would gun him down, and Vice City would finally see the last dance of Lance Vance.
This is the last dance for Lance Vance.
Lance T. Vance was an impulsive, insecure, and childish drug addict who spent the majority of his life lingering in obscurity and doing little work, while his older brother helped to keep their struggling family afloat. Lance appears to have lived with his primary caregiver, Aunt Enid Vance, until at least the age of 30, and seemingly had no interest in anything short of becoming a millionaire, so long as he could make it happen quickly and with minimal effort. Lance's tendency to act impulsively was a source of constant stress on his family his entire life, and this may have at least partially been due to Lance's lack of a paternal figure in the household, outside of Victor, due to their father either abandoning the family or perhaps dying when the Vance brothers were still very young. With their father gone and Victor often working to provide for the family, Lance would seek entertainment and fulfillment by thrill-seeking, such as learning to fly a helicopter, mad partying, or massive amounts of illicit drugs, or a combination of the three, and rarely thought about anyone but himself when making his reckless decisions. Lance was apparently always insubordinate and prone to talking back and acting out against authority as well, as evidenced by the fact that he was kicked out of Boy Scouts for unknown reasons, though it could just as easily have been drugs as well. Lance's priorities in life appeared to be drugs, fun, and family, and unfortunately in that order. Clearly loving his brothers and even claiming to seek riches partially to help pay for his younger brother Pete's exorbitant medical bills, but also frequently putting his brothers in danger, most often Victor, by involving them in his own desires to avoid blue-collar work and instead live the American dream by making it big. Lance likely felt immense grief being partially responsible for Victor's death by insisting on the deal when Victor wanted to get out of the drug game entirely, and this may have only fueled his descent into further drug addiction, heavy drinking, and perhaps even depression as he went from one of the leaders of the Vance crime family to the number two in another crime family entirely, one which he didn't feel valued him as an asset. It is arguable, therefore, that in the end it was Lance's insecurities which got him killed. Following Tommy's takeover of Vice City, Lance would slowly see himself as being patronized by Tommy the very same way his brother Victor had done his whole life. And these feelings, combined with his grief for getting Victor killed, may have contributed to his rash and impulsive, though altogether in-character decision to betray Tommy and try to take control of a situation in which he felt helpless. Lance Vance was a tall, possibly 6 feet or higher, man of mixed race, having a white American mother and a Dominican father. Like his brother, Lance was dark-skinned and was fairly lanky his entire life, lacking upper body strength, but also being an agile, if aloof, dancer. For most of his life, Lance wore glasses to see, but upon moving to Vice City and making it big with Victor, he would presumably begin wearing contact lenses, as by the time he and Victor moved into new penthouses in 1984, Lance had dropped the glasses permanently. He most often sported a jerry curl haircut and preferred, when his style afforded him the luxury, to dress for success, buying a trio of white, pink, and blue suits in preparation for celebrating a then yet unsuccessful deal to pay for them. And following his acquisition of the wealth he'd been seeking his whole life, Lance never missed an opportunity to flash his style. Lance Vance's criminal record prior to his arrival in Vice City, if it exists, could not be obtained by our reporters here at GTA Biographies. However, given his participation in the formation and propagation of the Vance crime family, and his direct involvement in numerous deals and turf wars for the Empire, there are no lack of crimes we do know he committed while operating out of Vice City in the 1980s, prior to his death. While we can't be certain that this is everything, let's take a look at Lance's known crimes between 1984 and 1986, while working for the Vance crime family, and later, the Versettis. Dangerously driving through the city as he and Victor escaped the Cholos upon arriving in Vice City. Helping to steal Brian Forbes' impounded car. Stealing drugs from an unknown gang with Forbes. Threatening and kidnapping Brian Forbes. Holding Forbes against his will. Killing members of the White Stallions. Stealing a drug shipment from the Sharks. Helping Victor to hunt and kill Forbes. Killing bikers with Victor to steal the information on an upcoming deal. Stealing a shipment of drugs from Jerry Martinez. Organizing a drug deal with Spitz. Helping Victor to kill numerous Mendez soldiers attacking their empire. Framing Jerry Martinez as an undercover cop in an attempt to get him killed by the Mendez brothers. Helping Victor destroy numerous VCPD bugs planted in their apartments and in their businesses. Killing numerous bikers with Victor for supposedly stealing their cocaine. Killing Mendez soldiers while escaping the airport fuel depot. Killing numerous Mendez soldiers while defending their empire again. Conspiring with Diaz to destroy the Mendez's bearer bonds. Killing some of Jerry Martinez's men aboard a yacht off the coast. Killing numerous Mendez soldiers while assaulting their mansion on Prawn Island. Purchasing or stealing 20 keys of coke from an unknown source. Participating in a drug deal with the Furley crime family. Helping Tommy to kill Leo Teal's business associates. Killing numerous Haitian gang members while defending a deal for Ricardo Diaz. Flying Tommy to Prawn Island to kill dozens of Shark gang members. Trying to kill Ricardo Diaz the first time. Killing numerous Diaz soldiers and Diaz himself alongside Tommy Vercetti. Impersonating a cop to help plant a bomb at a cafe in the North Point Mall. Working for an organized crime ring, and attempting to kill Tommy Vercetti. Despite having a considerably lower death toll than his brother, Lance Vance still killed more people in the 2 years we know he was heavily active than the average person will kill in their entire lives, which for you, our lovely audience, we hope is only 7. Lance may not have been the most effective or efficient killer like his brother Victor, or his boss Tommy, but Lance was nonetheless a chaotic and often unpredictable storm of irrational thinking and incredibly lucky, likely drug-fueled vendors. Perhaps it was the amount of cocaine he consumed on the regular that made him feel invincible, or his relentless drive to prove to everyone that he was just as good as his brother that allowed him to live for as long as he did. But ultimately, it was only a matter of time before karma caught up with the man known as Lance T. Vance, and as we all know, dear viewer, karma can be a real bitch. Who knows what makes a man act the way he does? Maybe it's the drive to prove oneself that makes a man betray his friends and undermine the trust of his own family, but until we can scoop out the brains of people and figure out the truth, we can only ever speculate. America is a dangerous place, people, and the allure of the American dream may have been at its deadliest at the height of the cocaine-addled decade that was the 1980s. Stay indoors, people. You never know if that flashy dancer you met at the club last week is secretly snorting half of Bolivia up his nose when you aren't looking. I'll see you next week on GTA Biographies for the story of another man wrapped up in the power and indulgence of the cocaine epidemic in the United States, on another coast in another decade. I'm your host, Guinness Walker, and I'll see you next time, America. Stay safe. Stay paranoid.